listening to the Straight to Video podcast with Rob Lane.
What's up, everybody, and welcome along to the Straight to Video podcast. Today's chat is a fun one for me as I got to spend some time with my friend, drummer and bandmate Mickey Richards. I need to apologise in advance though, as my weird, slightly faux British-American accent, which I seem to slip into for these podcasts in an attempt to make me sound a little more professional, goes totally out the window, and my true local accent comes to the forefront when talking to Mickey. Plus, I do swear a lot more than normal, so I guess I can blame him for that one, right? Mickey has been on a slightly different musical journey to a lot of us local guys. Much like all of us, he began the normal route, falling in love with rock and roll, working hard in different bands and finding his niche in the local scene, before ducking out for a few years before events in his life made him realise he should be out doing what he truly loved, playing the drums. And he got back out there, and much respect to him, he's gone from strength to strength over the last few years and become a much in-demand player. Although from similar areas, Mickey and I didn't really become friends until maybe 10 years ago. It was kind of the case we had a bunch of the same friends, but our paths never seemed to cross. I think we eventually began to know who each other was, but I believe it was our mutual love of the band Enuff's Enuff that brought us together properly when they played at Download in 2010, I believe, when we actually got to hang out and strike up a friendship. Since then, we've shared the stage in several projects, starting with getting the chance to be the touring band for Johnny Monaco before we teamed up as the UK arm of People on Vacation. When that band sadly split, we continued as the rhythm section for Ryan, where we still are to this day. It's been quite the ride, and Mickey himself has also taken on touring duties with the likes of the Dollyrots, which took him on a US tour, and also several runs with Jizzy of Love 8. Like I said earlier, Mickey may have been away from the scene for some time, but he's certainly made up for it since. We had some fun catching up and diving back into Mickey's early days and his journey in music, and I think it's only fitting we dedicate this episode to our late friend Ian Blind Lemon Campbell, who sadly passed away a few years ago. Ian played a big part in both our lives, but I know Mickey misses this guy a lot, as they were great bandmates and friends for a long, long time. So, this one's for you, Lem. I think it'll make you chuckle.
No more, we're gonna drink till everybody hits that floor. Baby, get down. Yeah, come on and get down. We're gonna dance till we just can't dance no more. We're gonna drink till everybody hits that floor. Baby, get down. Yeah, come on and get down. I don't know what you got cooking, but oh my God, you're sure good looking. Baby, get down.
Hold on. Can you hear me?
I can hear you all right.
You're like a fucking proper radio star.
I'm not fucking about here.
I tell you, you got the snap catcher and everything.
So, how was it growing up in the 70s around Colville where they made actual Star Wars toys? Was that a big deal as a kid, or didn't you realise it at the time?
No, 1977. I think we didn't get it to 1978, did we, over here, Star Wars? My auntie Norma, she worked at Palatoy. And, God, I wish I'd still got some of the stuff, because we weren't a wealthy family when we grew up, and Mum would get, like, the cast-offs from Palatoy. I can remember having Super Striker. You remember that when you used to hit the head bloke with the head and he kicked, yeah? Two of them had got their heads on back to front, right? If I'd got that now, can you imagine what that thing would be worth it for mint in the box? So, we always got stuff from there. And of course, I only lived 5 minutes away from where the elusive dumping ground was for Star Wars toys, where people travel, believe it or not, from all over the globe to come and see if they can dig it up. Well, they should probably ask me first, because I remember it's probably 100 foot down the road level from how it was when I was a kid. It was a bizarre time.
Is there an actual point then where they think those things are buried?
Yeah, I'll take you to it. We used to go as kids. We used to go skip across the back of the woods, over the fence, and they would literally tip. And we used to get the heads up. I think it was a Thursday, if my memory's right. And they'd come and tip because one of the girls in the village, next village, her dad used to work on the bin men, and he used to do the collection. And he used to just tell us when they were coming, then drop them, and there'd be a load of action men and stuff, and we'd scavenge it before they come and filled it all in.
All right, so this was like before the famous Star Wars drop.
Yeah. This was all the time. There was everything you could think of. There was like, three-eyed Barbies or whatever they were, and tiny tears and all that. So you didn't want none of that. You left that. But the action man stuff, you couldn't fill your bag quick enough.
Awesome. I love it. So when it came to the music side of things, are there any other members of your family who are musical?
No, not one. I don't know where I got it from, to be honest. My dad, he loved piano playing. He wished he played piano. That's what I do remember. He always said he wished he took the piano up, but never did. No, I'm the only one. Took it up when I was 10 years old.
What was it? You see somebody on Top of the Pops or something like that?
Yeah. I can tell you what it was. It's 1978. I sat watching Top of the Pops, and Clem Burke come on, Blondie. And he looked dead snazzy. He got this like red suit on, playing this red sparkle Premier drum kit. And of course, Premier is in Leicester, and that's only like 15 miles away from here. So he's playing, and I just sat with my mouth open watching this bloke hit these drums, looking so cool, Debbie Harry up front, what's not to love about that? And that was it. Just the bug had got me. And I just pestered then that I really wanted to play the drums. Just so happened that we had a drummer that moved into the village, of course, so.
Tell us a little bit about that then, for people who don't know the whole story.
Oh, right. Well, Malcolm Allured from Shiwadiwadi moved into the village in the mid-70s. And I always remember when he pulled in, he got this banana yellow Corvette Stingray. You can hear it coming from about 5 villages away. And he lived just down the road. He bought the pub, the Traveller's Rest. He became friendly with my dad. And between them, when I wanted to get a bit more serious about it, I asked him for a kit, if he'd buy me one, which he went and did a deal with Malk. I think he swapped him a set of stairs because my dad was a builder. Swapped him a set of stairs for a drum kit, and I had this wonderful Premier chrome drum kit, which is actually on the back of one of Shiwadiwadi's albums, and it was set up in my bay window. And Malk used to come up and teach me like once a week, maybe, and it was bizarre because you'd see him on Top of the Pops on the Thursday. Friday night, it'd be in my front room. It was, for a 10-year-old, it was, mind-blowing. But that guy a lot. He put me on a good path.
Obviously, you've known him, well, all your life, pretty much. How was he then compared to how he is now? Because he's still the big character.
Oh, he's not changed a bit. You can never get bored if you're in the room with that man. He's got so many stories. He could hold court. Even if you don't want to listen, you'll be listening because they'll make sure you're listening. He's that character.
What were some of the most important things he taught you? Can you think of anything off the top of your head? Other than drumming, did he give you any kind of insights into the industry?
Well, if he did, I can't remember. I was like 10 or 11 years old. No, it was just practice. Keep practicing. Of course, when you see somebody that's on the telly and it's like exactly what you want to do, you listen. So I did. I just ran with it and tried to be a rock star. But when you live in Griffey Dam, it ain't that easy.
So what else was influencing your taste? Where was you like buying music from and stuff like that?
The nearest place to where we used to go was a place in Colville, the market. I used to get my stuff, my pocket money, and I'd go to Colville Market on a Saturday morning. I'd catch the bus and nip up with my mum, and I'd buy the majority of it there. But then we found Donington Market, which was like the big mecca. Every Sunday, Donington Market, and you could buy any new album for like £2 because they were all hooky cassettes, but they look great. So most of my music collection came from there. I bought all my Kiss stuff from there. All the good stuff that I bought was through Donington Market and Colville Market. Record shops, we didn't really venture out of the area much. So Colville, Ashby, there was a place in Ashby. There's a place in Colville called, I think it's called What Records. But we never had any, there's no HMV around or anything like that. If we wanted that, we'd have to go on a Saturday morning to Leicester, to Ainley's.
Was there a bunch of your mates all into it at the same time?
No, one of my best friends, Martin, he was a mod, and he used to go around with his parka on and his hoop patches all over it, and I'd have my denim jacket on with my AC/DC patches and stuff. Well, the right pair of, whatever. He couldn't get to grips what I was listening to, and I kind of like what he was into. I'm very broad-minded musically, but he didn't get the waft of patchouli oil or whatever it is. Didn't understand it.
So where was you hearing about, let's say, rock music and stuff? I mean, you was hearing like your Blondie, which is still pop music, pop rock kind of stuff, but where did like hard rock begin to come into the picture?
Came into it from stealing my brother's albums. I mean, he was a big rock guy, and he loved like bands like Bad Company, Whitesnake, Van Halen. That was my introduction to Van Halen. And again, it would have been about 70, 78, 79. My first concert I went to was Whitesnake. I think one of my brother's friends dropped out and he got nobody to go with. So it's like, well, you can come if you want to, sort of thing. And it was like, okay. But that was it. Blew me away. First gig, De Montfort Hall, it would have been 79 or 1980. But yeah, that was when my love of rock came from. Listening to stuff he got like Sammy Hagar. I mean, I wore the Loud and Clear album out. When I heard him do Space Station Number 5, and then, of course, then you dig back into it was Montrose that did it, and you just keep going back and back. And just like listening to what my brothers was listening to, and then he kind of like, he plateaued at that, and then he went off into Swing Out Sister and all of that stuff at the time, I think it was, where I was just searching for everything that I could that was all things rock, really.
So speaking about live gigs and stuff, Whitesnake, who supported him? Can you remember?
I can, yeah. It was Gary Moore's band, G-Force they were called, and he sacked the bass player on the night.
On stage?
I can understand why. The bass players. On stage. They came out and something wasn't right, and the bass player looked all, and Gary Moore went up to the mic and said, "Fired." And meant it. And the bass player then just sat at the back all night and just stood playing his parts and kind of like walked off dragging his lip.
How many songs in was that? Pretty much straight off?
Yeah, I don't think his bass was plugged in. Something went radically wrong. But yeah, fired him on the night. But again, I mean, you got Gary Moore as your opening act. For your first introduction to rock music, it wasn't too bad, really. Not too shabby, that.
What was the Thin Lizzy gig you've told me about?
Oh, God, yeah. Again, went with my brother. I first saw them on the Renegade tour, which was with Snowy White on guitar. Again, I'd be, 12, 13 probably. I remember filling it with his bass. He got the black Fender with the mirror scratch plate. He was like flashing it at people like this. And of course, I'm on the balcony and I'm right at the front trying to get, good views. And I never think he points this thing at me, shines it straight in my eyes and puts his fists up to me. I'm like, yes! It's like I've won the lottery, I've been spotted by Phil Lynott. But yeah, that was the Renegade tour. And then I got to see him on the Thunder and Lightning tour. And it was only probably about 6 months before he died. But yeah, incredible. So glad I got to see him. So glad I got to see Van Halen in the original format too.
And that was at the Monsters of Rock, right?
That was the one, yeah, 1984. That was a game changer.
How aware of Monsters of Rock was you before then? Because obviously it's just literally just down the road from you.
I'd always wanted to go since day one, but you know how it is. I mean, I think when I went in 1984, I'd have been 15. Just wasn't old enough. I don't think my parents weren't prepared to let me go and on my own, and there's no way they'd have gone, So, it was 15 till I got there. But the excitement of it and the buzz of seeing people, cars and the vehicles and stuff going through the village. We'd sometimes see that they'd take a wrong turn and you'd see the big Trans Am trucks going through the village because they'd missed the A42. Well, they weren't the A42 at the time, but they'd missed the M1 turning. They'd end up coming through Griffey Dam and heading out to Castle Donington that way, It was like, wow. One day.
David Lee Roth, look at all the people in Griffey Dam.
Oh, my God. That was just incredible. The whole show. I'd still say now, I don't think there's ever been a better lineup than that in 1984.
But that was your first exposure to Motley Crue as well, right?
It was. I mean, I'd heard of them because I bought Shout at the Devil from Donington Market, of course. So I'd heard of them, but I'd seen the odd picture in Kerrang, which again, as you know, is like the Bible. So I'd seen a few pictures, but never experienced anything quite like it. And never been to an open air show, so I didn't know what I was to expect. To listen to Tommy Lee opened up when they opened the show with Bastard, which is just drums. To hear those toms and snare just coming out at God knows how many decibels just blew me away. I was just like a kid in a sweet shop. It's just, wow. This is unreal. It's what I want to do. It's what I want to be.
Who did you go with? You didn't go on your own, obviously.
Oh, no. There was quite a few of us that went, but I can only remember one, a guy called Andy Underwood, that was, still is, a remarkable guitarist. He was, he was playing, we were at school in a school band, and we'd be 13. That guy's playing Eruption, note for note at 13. God knows why he didn't carry on. I know he didn't, because I've seen him quite recently. I know he didn't carry it on. He still plays, but he didn't take it up professionally. He was a wise one and got a real job. And a remarkable talent. And I went with him. Nowadays, back then you think, how did they do it? You walked in and they gave you cigarettes as you walked through the door. As soon as you came through the gate, there was these dolly birds dressed up in their hot pants and T-shirts, Embassy written on them, and there's your free Embassy cigarettes. So I was taking them and I'm running around the side and going against some more and whatever, and then ended up flogging them.
Entrepreneur Richards.
You got to try, haven't you?
How was it seeing Van Halen? Was you ready for it?
Oh my God, that was the big one. That really was, yeah. And of course, and when Diamond Dave comes on and he's skipping across the stage, you just can't explain what it was like, for somebody at 15 that you've never seen anything quite like it. And I don't think I'll ever see anything quite like it again. I know there's bands, which are on par and probably much better. But when you're 15 years old and you see Eddie Van Halen playing his guitar the way he does and Alex, and it doesn't get any better than that. Just can that moment. I would have that moment forever.
Talk us through some of your early bands. What was the first band you were in?
The first one was a school band called The Undertakers. Shocking. Guy, saxophone player, played about 2 notes. Sounded better blowing my nose. All coming out of that thing. Again, you have to start somewhere. So, yeah, The Undertakers was the first band. There was a few, bits and bobs that we used to throw around, and we never gigged anywhere, but it was just, rehearsals, covers and stuff. Then I went and joined a band called Cat's Chorus when I joined them, but that changed to Ragamuffin. And then, and that was when I'd be about 18, I guess. And everybody then wanted to be either in Motley Crue, Rat, Poison, all of these glam bands. So we all had our hair back combed, but it was bizarre because my mum and dad was so like meat and potatoes, straight, anything like that, you're weird, son. There's something wrong with you. So, and I couldn't go out like that. It'd have strung me up. So I had to literally, I put my hairspray and my makeup in a bag. I'd get dressed up to go out with my jeans and a T-shirt on, and then I'd have to go down the singer's house and get dolled up while we backcombed the hair and stuff before I went out to the clubs.
Where was you going to? Where was you hanging out at?
Well, just local bars and stuff around here. Can you imagine? You know what it's like around here. It's like being glammed up and going through Ena, People either want to kiss you or kill you. One of the two. So it was a bit raucous. There was always some kind of shenanigans going on.
So what kind of shows was you playing? Was there a good audience? Did you have to travel far afield?
No, again, you think, we certainly did. You could be a rock star if you lived, it didn't matter where you lived. We didn't have the foresight to see that, if you really want to make something, you've got to move into the cities. We thought we could do it from Griffitham, Whittick, Peggs Green, all of these little villages. So, you give it a go, don't you? Of course you do. We played just local gigs, really. I think the furthest we went was maybe Nottingham.
Did you ever do the whole demo tape thing, sending it out to record labels?
We did. We sent it out. We were on the Friday Rock Show once with Tommy Vance. I'm so proud of the fact that we got this demo and it's on Tommy Vance's Rock Wars. So I made my mum and dad listen to it. And then he says, he calls me Nicky for a start, Nicky Richards. That was it. I was destroyed. And he also said that the rhythm guitarist, he says, he called himself Scragtag. He says, Scragtag on guitar and drums. I'm like, what? He even took that from me as well.
Oh, the worst. I can feel your pain on that one. That's kind of like when you get your photo in the local paper and they spell your name wrong.
Yeah, of course, my dad's, he's wheezing with laughter because they've got my name wrong. And they've even put down that the guitarist played the drums on it. So it's like, I'll get my coat, Dad. I'm off.
Unreal.
I kind of set the scene for the rest of my music career.
Tell us how you met Ian Campbell. Lemon.
Oh, he was, I was in a band called the Beef Burger Brothers. Yeah, I know.
Names of your bands. Unreal. They can't get more British Midlands.
Exactly. Well, it was a shocking name. However, it was always that they were a legendary band around these parts. They'd been going for donkey's years. If you ever got to play with them, it means that you'd kind of like climbed a bit of a ladder, because they would only have the good guitarists or the good sax player or the good drummer. If you managed to play with them, you'd done something. And I was fortunate enough at the time to be asked to play drums for them. So it's like, okay, done something. I've got to play with these guys. And Lemon was a big fan of that band. He'd followed them for ages. He used to turn up and he'd like come and say, I can sing, I'm a good singer. So, hey, yeah. You got a big mustache, that'll have to go. And we didn't have a rib him. He's like, no, but I can sing. I do the blues and everything. So anyway, I think we caved in one night and just said, well, come on, then you can come up and sing a slow blues thing with us. And he just got up and he just turned from Ian Campbell into this monster that was Blind Lemon. And that was it. He was just, oh my God, this guy can sing. And this stage presence he's got was just captivating. He used to come up, he'd follow us round and he'd come up and he'd do one song. It got to the point where he was doing 5 or 6. Then it got to the point where the singer of the band, and the guitarist, who was the main guy of the Beef Burger Brothers, put his nose out of joint because people were coming to see Lemon. It went from 6 songs back to 5, 4, 3. And then Ian was like, well, it's no point me coming anymore. I'm up again for one. So Ian just says to me, you fancy just doing something separate? And it were getting that hostile, isn't probably not the word, but it was just not a nice atmosphere anymore in that unit. So we just broke ranks. Me and the bass player went with Lem. We formed Blind and Dangerous. And we had many, many good years at that, playing the clubs and stuff.
What time frame was that?
Early 90s. I remember it would have been, we recorded the album in 94. I know Lem was an F1 fan, and I remember I was playing snooker. I'd done my drum parts, and I was watching the TV, and it was the day Ayrton Senna had crashed and died. Of course, me, being me, just running like a bull in a china shop. It's like, you'll never guess, Ayrton Senna's dead. He just destroyed him. It was like, oh, forgot you're a crazy fan. But I think about him all the time. We had some magic times, and I learned a lot from him. He was a bit like me. He was a bit of a stubborn old bugger. But I like that about it.
What were some of the things he taught you, do you reckon? What have you took with you?
He was one plain John Bull straight down the line, and he's kind of like moulded from my dad. If something's wrong, say it's wrong. If something's right, say it's right. But always be man enough to apologise if you're wrong. And I think if everybody took that way of thinking, I think the world would probably be a better place, to be honest. I think you should always say what you feel. I don't think you should be rude when you come across and say it. But I think everybody should be like that. And Lem was one of those straight talking. If he didn't like it, he'd tell you he didn't like it. But there'd be a reason behind it. It wouldn't just be terrible. Again, I see myself in him a lot.
A good guy for sure, man, for sure. How do you feel about meeting your heroes? You've shared some time with Clem Burke. For the most part, it's been really positive, right?
You know what? I heard some horror stories about Clem. I was like, oh my God, you don't want to meet your hero and you find out he's a bit of a dick. So I was really nervous about it. But when we were both on tour with him, there was one moment I was in the dressing room and it was just me and him. And I wanted to say something and I couldn't say anything. And he broke the ice and we just started talking about drums. And it's like, whew. And anyway, it just flowed out of him. And he was honestly the nicest guy. You can see that he's got a bit of a spark to him, that if something's not, I think, right, he's going to let you know. But that's not a bad thing. But I find him nothing but a lovely bloke, very positive, very courteous, genuinely good bloke.
So finally, is there anything you kind of miss from those like early days of rehearsing and gigging? I know it's kind of rose-tinted spectacles and all that kind of stuff, but just the vibe of those early bands.
If I think about it too much, I think I kind of like missed the boat. I go back and think, why didn't I just do this? And I'm full of what ifs. You try and be the rock star as we all have when you're a teenager, and that's what we all want to be. And I got to like my 20s and it's like, yeah, this isn't going to happen. Proper job sort of thing, and it took the death of my mother to understand that, life's very short and you should, grasp it with both hands. And it was at that point I realised that drumming is in my veins, and I just need to be able to see if I can, make a living out of it. And so at that point, that's when it's like the 9 to 5 was pushed to one side, and we'll start again. And you just kind of like, hopefully you have a knock-on effect. And it kind of worked, to an extent.
It's a very brave jump, man.
Well, I mean, it's, Mum, she passed away in her sleep. She wasn't ill. There was nothing that we knew she was ill with. She just went to sleep one night, didn't wake up. And when you think, have I accomplished everything I want to accomplish? No, I haven't. But that was a bloody good time to start, as a wake-up call. So that's what I did. And then I just went from band to band, just hopping around. And then I met you, and then it all went downhill.
You're welcome.
It was going so well.
Right, good to see you, mate.
All right, mate.
And I shall speak to you soon.
All right, pal.
See you later.
Well, there you go.
There he was, Mr. Mickey Richards. Hope that one was fun to listen to and our local ramblings weren't too hard to decipher. You can find Mickey on social media by searching MFR Drums on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram, and hopefully Mickey will be out on the road playing again and doing what he does best sometime soon. Thank you everyone for the continued support of the Straight to Video podcast. Please continue to like, share, follow, and if you listen on Apple Podcasts, a review would be amazing. Hopefully over the next few months you'll be hearing about some changes as the podcast begins to grow and branch out a little, so I'm hoping for some exciting times ahead. Until then though, I've been your host Rob Lane, and as ever I look forward to speaking to you all again real soon.